One rainy evening, under the shelter of a large oak tree, Ethan and Sophia stood in silence. The raindrops fell steadily around them, creating a rhythmic backdrop to their unspoken emotions. Thunder rumbled in the distance, and the cold wind made Sophia shiver. She wrapped her arms around herself, her eyes filled with a sadness deeper than the storm that surrounded them. "Why are you so quiet? Should I say something?" Ethan finally broke the silence, his voice hesitant, unsure. Sophia sighed, her breath visible in the cold air. "I've been waiting for you here in the rain for 2 hours." Ethan frowned, running a hand through his damp hair. "Why did you ask me to come here?" She exhaled sharply. "We need to talk," she replied, her voice laced with urgency. His expression hardened. "Go on, I'm listening." "Why were you late?" she pressed, her gaze unwavering. "I was busy," he admitted, looking away. She shook her head in disappointment. "You're always busy. You never have time for me." Ethan's voice softened. "Sophia, the truth is, I didn't want to come." She looked at him, her eyes filled with pain. "That's why we need to talk openly. This might be our last meeting." His heart clenched at her words. "Last meeting? What do you mean? Won't you let me see our child?" "You can see our child whenever you want, but not me," she stated firmly. Ethan inhaled sharply. "But we will meet again, Sophia." She looked at him, holding a small bouquet of flowers. "I came with flowers, I've apologized countless times, but you still won't forgive me. What more can I do?" "I can't forgive you, Ethan," she whispered. "What did I do that was so unforgivable?" he asked, his voice barely above the sound of the rain. Sophia looked away. "You already know why. You only think about yourself. You never considered our child's future." Ethan's eyes darkened. "And have you? I tried to save our family, Ethan. I reached out to you many times. But you only made an effort twice, and even then, it was just for appearances. Listen, Sophia. You know I love our child. Nothing will change that. Do you think marrying someone else will change the fact that you're his father?" she demanded. His jaw tightened. "This situation exists because of you." Sophia's voice turned steely. "Yes, I admit you weren't a perfect husband. But Ethan, you hurt me. And not just once." His hands clenched into fists. "I lost my temper, yes. But I never meant to hurt you." She shook her head. "You hit me many times. I never told anyone." "There were reasons," he muttered defensively. "I never hurt you without a reason. No matter the reason, you should never have raised your hand against me," she said, her voice breaking. "You even did it when I was pregnant." "I remember that." Ethan's eyes widened. "I didn't hit you then, I just grabbed you. There's a difference." Sophia's lips trembled. "No man should ever lay a hand on his wife. Do you even remember why that fight started?" Ethan exhaled heavily. "Jealousy. You were jealous. You said hurtful things. You screamed at me. I lost control. You should have calmed me down, not reacted with anger," she countered. "You should have trusted me first," Ethan argued. She looked at him with weary eyes. "I did trust you once. And where did that lead us?" "I was hurt, I was alone, and you," she paused, tears glistening in her eyes. "You walked away." He swallowed the lump in his throat. "Sophia, if I could turn back time." "But you can't," she interrupted. "Goodbye, Ethan. I hope you will be a good father, even if you couldn't be a good husband." And with that, she turned and walked away, leaving Ethan standing alone in the rain, his heart heavier than ever before. Ethan stood there, watching as Sophia disappeared into the misty rain. His mind raced with memories, both good and bad. He clenched his fists, swallowing the emotions threatening to consume him. Just then, her words echoed in his mind. You weren't quiet either, Ethan. How could I stand your harsh words? She had once told him. He had countered. Does that mean a husband can't discipline his wife? You have no right to do that, she had stated firmly. I am your husband. You should listen to me, he had argued. You are my ex-husband now, she had shot back without hesitation. Ethan sighed, staring at the divorce papers in his hands. Life isn't easy. There's no such thing as a perfect family. I've made my decision, Ethan, she had declared. What do you want? He had asked, his voice barely masking his frustration. I want a divorce, she had said clearly. Do you really think everything will end after that? He had challenged. Yes. You need to sign the papers, she had replied. And what guarantee do you have that another man won't hurt you? He had asked bitterly. She had smiled sadly. That's not your concern anymore. You should find someone better suited for you. 2 years together. Have you forgotten all our good moments? Ethan had asked desperately. There's no point remembering. I have no feelings left for you, she had said without hesitation. He clenched his fists. If our paths are different, my child stays with me. I have raised him since birth, Ethan. Have you even looked after him? She had challenged. A nanny will take care of him. I won't abandon my child. He had shot back. You don't spend time with him. I am his mother. He will stay with me until he is 18, she had declared. And what will you tell him when he asks about me? He had asked. I will tell him the truth, she had said simply. You never promised me you'd change. Things could have been different, he had argued. Sophia had smiled bitterly. Do you remember the last time you hit me? You did it because you thought I was drinking. Ethan had looked away. I remember. You humiliated me in front of my friends, Ethan. But it wasn't alcohol, she had whispered. Ethan stood there, rain soaking him to the bone, the flowers in his hands wilting just like the love they once shared. And as Sophia disappeared into the storm, he realized that sometimes love isn't enough to fix what has already been broken.